All right, so I think we are live. Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to give this a second to catch up. But yeah, welcome back to Woodland Pools. Glad to have you all back. And welcome to another Cardano Q&A live stream. As I mentioned in our tweet a little bit earlier today, I don't think I have it up on this window, but as I mentioned a little bit earlier today, Woodland Pools turns 2 years old today, so I thought it'd be fun to do things a little bit differently this week and do our normal weekly report live, and we'll get to chat and do another one of our normal another one of our live streams here. Sorry, I just got like a brand new phone and I don't even know how to work it. I feel like a boomer with this new technology. I finally got a new iPhone after like 8 years of living with a 6S. But yeah, so I thought it'd be fun. Everybody, like how we normally do, when you're coming in, let us know where you're joining from. It's always fun to see where people are joining from all around the world. Let us know any questions that you have, and we'll kind of work through those as we get through them. There's a few things that I had queued up here of just news and stuff that's going on. Obviously, the big news is about Kraken to end on-chain staking services for its U.S. clients. We can talk more about that. But yeah, but normally the way we kind of do this thing is a good back and forth. Just kind of any questions that you guys have, we go back and forth, and we'll go through it depending on what questions everyone has. So we'll let everybody kind of just start filtering in here, and we will go from there. Okay. In the meantime, let's take a look at, you know what we could start with? Let's do this. We'll kind of start with the last tab that I have here. So while folks are coming in, like I said, let us know where you're joining from, any questions that you have. And by the way, can you guys hear me okay? I normally have like a headphone plugged in just to make sure, but let me know in the chat if you can hear me all right. And then if for any reason that's not working, I can try and mess with the audio. So what I thought would be kind of cool we can do to start is let's take a look at WMT scan. So this is World Mobile. For those of you that are not familiar with World Mobile, we've talked about it a few times on the channel, but we actually have a reservation set up for an Earth node, and that is good to go. There's a few things, some news about World Mobile. The public testnet just went live for it. So on their schedule that we had pulled up, damn, let me see if I can actually find, let me see if I can find their schedule here. Hold on, their roadmap. They put an updated roadmap that we'd looked at before, and it was talking about what is happening when. Let me see if I can find it here relatively quickly. Yeah, sweet. So here's this roadmap. Awesome. So here's the new World Mobile roadmap. And yeah, so we can see here, let me make sure you guys can see that all right. Yeah, perfect. Hopefully my head's not too much in the way. What I'll do is I'll get this out of the way here. There we go, perfect. So this is the end of last year in Q4. So now here we are in Q1. Right now, there we go. So the testnet was supposed to have launched at the end of last year. It was a closed testnet at the end of last year. Right now, the public testnet has just kicked off, so I think they're probably a few months behind schedule on this schedule here. But we should expect the mainnet launch sometime in the next few months. Right now, with the testnet, I actually just got the email to sign up for that. So I'll be setting up some testnet Earth nodes, which is really exciting. We've reserved one for the ASPEN stake pool. We've reserved here the Earth node NFTs. We've gotten the Earth node NFT, so we're good to go there. Now just waiting to hear some details on how to get that node up and running. And like I said, I'll do a video dedicated to that when we've got our testnet node up and running and some more updates on World Mobile. So yeah, so the idea with World Mobile, again, for those that are not necessarily familiar, their whole idea to connect the unconnected, the three main parts of it that work together with the Ether node is what sort of takes care of all the telephony contracts and stuff like that with the local government. The air nodes are the ones that propagate the signal, and these can be their huge blimps, their aerostats, or it can just be like a small transponder set up, like a signal propagator that's set up by just a local entrepreneur and everything in between. And then what actually handles the facilitation of the transactions of how long a call was and what they charge and stuff like that are going to be the Earth nodes. And so for the Earth nodes, World Mobile is setting up a sidechain, a Cardano sidechain, and the Earth nodes will be the ones that run and manage those transactions. So yeah, so we'll be running an Earth node. That's pretty cool. But what I was thinking we could do while folks are coming in is we can take a look at World Mobile Scan, WMT Scan, and take a look at some of the stats they have going on here. If you come to WMTscan.com, let me see. I guess you can't see the You can't see the URL, but it's, yeah, it's wmtscan.com. Let me do this. Let me get rid of this bar. 1 second. Let's do... Here. Cool. Yeah, great. So now you can see the actual... what we're working with here, so what the plan is. All right, great. So if you go to wmtscan.com, this is a live map of what is operating right now with World Mobile. So we can see here Zanzibar is where they're first going live. And we can see all of these little data points right here, these little glowing points here. These are all air nodes that are live right now. So we can see that they are currently at 247 air nodes. Their goal for the end of last year was to get to 225. So we're seeing this continually ticking up. And you can actually also see live stats in terms of the unique users for a daily period and total network consumption each day. So there's already 20,000 unique users using World Mobile and 1.5 terabytes. I saw this as high as 2 terabytes of data going through on a daily basis. So yeah, pretty cool site that you can come and check out and see sort of what's going on with that. So a few other things that I wanted to dig into. Let's go ahead. Oh, this one's a good one here. So this one here, February 14th. If you guys remember this video that we did covering the node situation that happened. What happened with this one, if you didn't see this video, was about 2 weeks ago, we had a situation where there was a transaction that went through and was propagated out to the nodes on the network. When it arrived at those nodes, some of them, upon receiving it, crashed and restarted. Some of them didn't restart right away. But in any case, there was about 50% of the network was impacted, which means that the other 50% just kept working with no problems at all. So yeah, it was a little bit concerning in terms of what's going on here. But the cool thing was two things. One, there was no global sort of outage or downtime. Everything just kept working more or less as expected, maybe a little bit slower with some of those nodes being down, but everything still kept working the way that you would have expected. And two, the other thing is I was actually sitting in on a stake pool operator call, and they do this every month. And there was some folks from IOG there, and they're talking. And from their standpoint, the nodes actually operated in exactly the way that they were supposed to. Because if you think about it, if you have a malicious transaction that comes into a node, you don't want that node to take that malicious transaction and then propagate it out to the rest of the network. If there's something wrong with it that it can't quite parse, you want it to either discard it, which is what some nodes did, or in the case where it's sort of like a fatal exception, just crash and restart and then toss it and start over again. So that's what the nodes did. They sort of like cleaned the slate, started back up again, and then within a couple of minutes, we were back to about 80% capacity and then slowly restored back to 100%. In any case, what happened after that was a lot of folks in the community came together, did some different log tracing and stuff like that. On the IOG side, they did bug fixing on their side. And the result of this exercise was, where did my thing go? Here we go. Cardano Node version 135.5. So 135.5 is the version that fixes this problem. They were already planning on upgrading 134.4 or 135.4, but 135.5 has this fixed. So not only was it not necessarily that big of a deal in terms of the impact to the network, but we were able to turn this around and get it up and running pretty much within like 10 days. I think they got this release ready to go that addressed the issue that we saw on that day. So the ASPEN stake pool and all 4 relays across the world have been upgraded to 135.5. Check with your stake pool operator and make sure that they've also upgraded to 135.5. The hard fork for this, your pool that you're delegated to needs to either be on 135.4 or on 135.5 to be able to continue processing and propagating transactions and blocks across the network. This hard fork will be on Valentine's Day on February 14th. So check with your stake pool operator to make sure they've upgraded. The ASPEN stake pool is good to go. But yeah, we're good to go there. Hey, Ernest. Thank you. Yeah, so it's 2 years, so I appreciate that. Yeah, and like I said, so I'm hoping that you can, I'm guessing you can hear me then, so that's good. Yeah, so then on that note, we'll get to that in a second. The other piece that I wanted to address is what literally just came out today about this announcement from Kraken. There was something from Coinbase too recently that they just tweeted out that they were hinting at this. This came out, the Coinbase tweet came out a couple of days ago, but they were saying that they were hinting that this might happen. But now this announcement officially came out just a couple of hours ago from Kraken, announcing that they're going to end on-chain staking services for their US clients. So here we go. Today, 2 Kraken subsidiaries announced a settlement with the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, concerning Kraken's on-chain staking program. Because of this settlement, Kraken has agreed to end its on-chain staking services for U.S. clients. So for those of you that are staking with Kraken in the United States, this is sort of an important blog for you. The TLDR is there's nothing you need to do, but this is a pretty good indicator for us to keep in mind of things that might be coming down the line. So basically, starting today, Kraken will automatically unstake all U.S. client assets enrolled in their staking program. And so if you are a person who is staking with Kraken in the U.S., you will not be able to stake new assets. Previously staked non-ETH assets will automatically be with stakes. This is the important thing. There's nothing you need to do. What's going to happen is, I know they mentioned this somewhere. Yeah, here we go. So the assets that you're staking will automatically return to your spot wallet and will no longer earn rewards. So you don't have to even do anything. They're automatically going to unstake them and send them back for you. Yeah, that's just something to keep in mind about what's going on here. Charles also put out a video about this, with sort of his thoughts about it. There was a conversation with Charles that was going on Twitter a little while ago, where this is practically maybe like a couple of days ago, where he was talking about this whole thing, and he made a really good distinction that he calls out again in this video about the difference between the non-custodial fully liquid staking that we have on Cardano and the custodial staking that there is on Ethereum. Now keep in mind that on Cardano, when you delegate to a stake pool like ours, like the ASPEN stake pool or any others, those funds never leave your wallet, and the stake pool operator is basically just running the node. But in terms of the stake being considered as part of the delegation, and in terms of the rewards that you get for that delegation, all of that is automatically handled at the protocol level. Us as stake pool operators don't do anything in terms of, literally tallying up how much everybody has and then holding on to your stake and potentially returning it back to you. None of that stuff is anything that we have to worry about. That's all handled at the protocol level. And so it's an important distinction, because this here is something where even for non-custodial staking, staking that can be non-custodial, like on Polkadot or on Cardano, here you have someone like Kraken or Coinbase who is doing this custodially, if that's a word, for you. But what Charles is making the distinction is like, yeah, this is sort of like if you start working your way down from fully custodial, where someone is holding it and doing it for you, to sort of a hybrid thing where you're giving somebody else the right to do it for you, but you could be doing it on your own, all the way to fully non-custodial, like on Cardano, where it sits in your own wallet, it never leaves your wallet, and then from there, you're the one who's fully in charge of what you do. Sort of in that spectrum there, we see this Kraken thing with Coinbase that talked about this a little bit earlier. That sits somewhere in the middle. What Charles was talking about yesterday was the situation where for staking like on Ethereum, he views that as being pretty far over on the other end of that spectrum. Because if you think about it, when you stake your coins on Ethereum, you actually have to like stake it into that smart contract. And there's a few things that can happen there. You're trusting the person who's running that smart contract. First of all, the smart contract itself. You're trusting the stake pool operator to make sure they're doing everything properly. And then also what's built into the staking model for Ethereum is slashing, in such that if the stake pool operator does something they're not supposed to do, then the coins that they are staking can actually be slashed and lost. So in that sense, there's these people that are holding it and doing it for you, and you're fully at the mercy of how well the stake pool operator performs. You might actually lose some of your ETH that you're staking. That is completely different from the Cardano model, where you just delegate to a pool, it never leaves your pool, and the only real risk that you have, if the stake pool operator is not really doing their job very well, is solely the opportunity cost of having delegated to a better pool that was running their operation better. But it's sort of very different ends of the spectrum. So we're seeing this conversation come up now, and I'm expecting we're going to see a lot more of this in the future. So yeah, let's keep an eye on that. Cool. All right. So with that, couple of other things. I'm not sure for those of you, if you tuned in to the Book.io space, there was some really cool stuff that they talked about here. I took some notes on that. We can go over that if there's any questions about Book. But there were some cool takeaways from their Twitter space. Let me share this in the chat. here's the book.io space. So you guys have that. Yeah, so a lot of interesting stuff that came out with this that I wanted to go over. I wrote a couple things down here that I wanted to make sure that we covered. Oh yeah, right now, what's going on right now, if you guys have not already seen, there is currently going on right now is the first time that they're minting on 3 different blockchains all at once. So let's let this pull up here. Yeah, so the Art of War minted earlier this morning on Cardano, then a little while ago on Ethereum, and the Polygon one just kicked off, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, like in that order, they're minting on 3 different blockchains today, which is pretty cool. The first time that they did this was for Alice in Wonderland. They did it on Cardano and Ethereum, and now they minted on all 3 blockchains, Cardano, Ethereum, and Polygon. In the space, they talked about that they don't have any plans to add any other blockchains right now, but it is on their roadmap to be adding additional chains in the future, but they're kind of just, you know, dealing with different priorities in terms of what they do first. Give me 1 second. Okay, cool. But a couple of other things that were going on in their space that I wanted to talk about, if you haven't had a chance to listen to it. A couple of other things. Let's see here. Oh, so mint and print. One of the things that we've heard a lot about, the idea that the books that you have, so for example, let's see my bookshelf here. I've got a bunch of different books. I'm a very big fan of the project. Oh, because I need to change. How do I change the wallet that I have on here? Dang. Well, whatever. I'll come back to. Oh, you know what I could do? Let me do it like this. Let me pull up this. We'll pull it up. I'll show you my books on pulled up PM. But the idea here for mint and print is that you can get any of the books that you own, and then you can actually get physical copies of those books mailed to you, and then you can actually read your books. And also, too, the really cool thing is that, so well, that's fine. Well, while this is pulling up, let's say, for example, you bought Alice in Wonderland, and you know, and you got this specific Alice in Wonderland book, and you know, rather this cover. What you can do with mint and print once that's live, and the idea is, I think it's going to happen in the next few months. What you can do with mint and print is you'll be able to go and then actually print out a physical copy of Alice in Wonderland, and it will have the cover of the book that you minted that sits in your wallet, which is really cool. So one of the things that they were talking about was that in the future, they're looking at seeing the different ways that they can do this in terms of, are they going to make it that you can only print it just once, or if there's limits on how many times, or as many times as you want. Because if you think about it too, if there are limits on how many times you can print an ebook that you have minted, then that should be something that you'd probably want to indicate on something like JPEG Store. When you're buying the book, you want to know, like, well, okay, if I'm buying this Alice in Wonderland, has somebody already printed it, because I might want to do so in the future. So that's kind of a cool thing that they have going on with the mint and print. So for mint and print, the first one they're going to do, this was just announced in that Twitter space that I linked in the chat. For mint and print, the first one they're going to do is going to be Frankenstein. Because if we go back to the bookstore, okay, let's go back to the bookstore. All right, so we go back to the bookstore. Let this load up. Yeah, cool. So we can see here their first 3 books. The first one was the Gutenberg Bible. Then John Green did Cardano for the Masses. And then after that was Frankenstein. So their plan is they're going to have Frankenstein be the first mint and print book that they're going to do. So for those of you like me who have Frankenstein, you have a cover that you really like, you will be able to get those minted and sent to your wallet. One thing that just occurred to me as I'm looking at this too, which is kind of incredible, you know, all the conversations going on about AI. So the Ada Aliens is the one who does the art for these. He's the one who does the art for all of the different book.io books. You know what's kind of crazy is you can actually see, it's actually kind of amazing. You can actually see, just since they started about 7 months ago, the difference in the quality of like the way that the faces are rendered. Let me see if I can get this to zoom in. Yeah, cool. So look at, for example, like if you remember, like when with Midjourney, when like stuff with the faces, when you were first rendering faces, it kind of had a hard time. You see how like the eyes are kind of a little bit off here? So my face is in the way here. Let me move myself out of the way here. Move myself up to here. There you go. You can see how like the eyes are like not quite right, and there's kind of like an eye in his mouth here, which is kind of weird. Which for things like these monster series is fine because it's kind of just like weird looking. But you see how it's just kind of like just a little bit off. And you can see here with Dracula, the same thing, how the eye's just a little bit off. And it's kind of like, has this like really weird, like eerie kind of feel to it, right? But then if you fast forward just over the past 6 or 7 months, look at how much cleaner these look now. How much more realistic all of these look. And it's all still being using the same AI generation with Midjourney. I just noticed that. That's incredible. How much sharper all these images look. So it's kind of sort of a little tangent there on the AI art and how far that's come compared to these sort of like otherworldly kind of like weird eerie ones that we had going on. But yeah, so you'll be able to mint and print Frankenstein, which is super cool. That'll be the first one. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, something I know a lot of people have been asking about the price of these because they're kind of expensive. The idea is they very deliberately have been making these collectibles where they'll have like unique artwork on the covers and stuff like that. The plan moving into this year is doing the mass publication of ebooks. So you'll probably see something like, if they were to do a public domain book like Frankenstein again, you'd probably see it the same way you see it in a bookstore where you've got just like one cover and that's the only one. And so, you know, when you mint it, you don't get anything unique about it, but you have the ability to read the book. Yeah, let's see. Multi-chain mint, we talked about that. Oh, read to earn is something that people were asking about too. So read to earn, the idea that as you're reading through the book, on the actual e-reader, you would get book tokens. There was some cool detail that they shared about that, because a lot of questions, like one question I've had is about like how do you prevent like bots from working this and stuff like that. So the way they're going to do it is that for whatever books you have sitting in your wallet, the read to earn will only work once per book. So if somebody was really trying to bot this, they would literally need to just like buy a ton of different books to be farming the book tokens, and I'm not sure if that would work out well financially. That does remind me though, a couple of other things to keep in mind in terms of airdrops. There are snapshots happening later today actually at midnight UTC, which is very soon. I think probably like in the next 40 minutes or so. There's going to be an airdrop. There's going to be a snapshot for the airdrop for both. Let me see here. Yeah, here we go. So Joseph Nassis has minted 2 books with them, Scream of Angels, and where's the other one? I don't know why it's... Oh, because the other one I think is still mintable. But he has 2 books. If you have them... I think it's Templar, if I'm not mistaken. But if you have them both in your wallet, there's Templar... Yeah, anyway. If you have them both in your wallet, they're going to do a snapshot, and then sometime in the future, his 3rd book will be dropped in your wallet automatically. And then the other one is if you have the first 4 Shakespeare books, I'm not sure why only 3 of them are showing up, but Antony and Cleopatra, Macbeth, Hamlet, and Othello, if you have all 4 of those in your wallet, then you will be getting Romeo and Juliet on Valentine's Day. Both of those snapshots are happening today. So if you have those books, make sure you put them all into the same wallet, and make sure also that you take them off of anything if you have them listed on JPEG Store or anything like that. Okay, cool. That's that. Sweet. Oh, hey, cool. Got some people coming in. Yeah, awesome. So as you're coming in, say hello. Let us know where you're joining from. Let's do a couple here. Daniel, hello. Let me see. Oh, I don't know why it's not rendering. Let's try that. I don't know. It isn't like your, it's just the letter D. I don't know why it's not rendering that. Oh, well. But hello, Daniel. Good to see you. Where are you calling in from? Hey, Vic. How's it going, man? Good to see you, Vic. Vic, this is the closest now. For those that don't know Vic is with NMaker. He does great work over there. NMaker is also one of my favorite projects. Vic, this is now, I think, the closest that we've gotten yet to meeting in person. But I'm hoping that maybe at like CNFTCon or something like that, which actually, that reminds me. There's another thing I wanted to mention is conferences that are coming up this year. So we have CNFTCon. I'm pulling them up here, and I'll bring them over in a second. Rare Evo. Here's Rare Evo. And then, and then I'm also going to Consensus, but we can do, yeah, cool. So, let's let this pull up here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we've got 4 different conferences going on this year. Well, I guess fine, I'll pull up Consensus. I'm not sure who's going to Consensus. I know that there's sort of, CoinDesk is a contentious topic right now, but yeah. So for those that want to meet up in person, I am going to all 4 of these this year. I will be at Consensus in April. Then we've got Rare Evo is happening here in warm, sunny Colorado, in Denver on August 24th to 26th. And then at the end of September is going to be CNFTCon, going back to Las Vegas once again. And I would imagine sometime after that, this is the old page here, is going to be the Cardano Summit. This is for 2022. But I know that Dan Taylor was already, from the Cardano Foundation, was already talking about how he is planning, he's actually scouting locations right now for where they're going to do their event for 2023. So yeah, so you guys should put these on your calendars. Of all of them, I imagine the least interesting one is probably Consensus. But so here's Rare Evo, here's CNFTCon, and for whenever they announce it, here is the Cardano Summit website. So yeah, so this is something I wanted to mention anyway. I was saying, Vic, this is the closest we've gotten to meeting in person. Hopefully I'll see you at CNFTCon. And for those of you that are out there, see if you can make it to one of these. It'll be really fun to meet you guys in person. It'd be really, really good. It was so cool just seeing different people, and then especially because also too, like for Rare, that was in Colorado, and then even the Cardano Summit the year before was in Wyoming. But I loved going to the Cardano Summit in Switzerland and seeing all the folks that are based in Europe who couldn't make it out. So yeah. So Daniel, you're in Iceland. Maybe you can come out to the Cardano Summit for the 2023. That'd be cool. We can say hi in person. All right, yeah. So hello. Joining from Wales. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Love the channel. Hey, I will be in your neighborhood soon. So Patty and Paul, if you guys didn't see, I was recently chatting with them on the Cardano Crack that they do once a week, and I'm kind of pushing them because they've been like talking about how they're planning on doing a Dublin meetup, and trying to do like a Cardano Dublin meetup. You know, the idea is for just people that live in Ireland, but those guys are super cool, and I look for any excuse to just travel somewhere. So if and when they set that date, I will be going to Ireland. So I will be in your neck of the woods, David, probably in the next few months. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's very nice. Yeah, totally. That'd be great. Okay, so with that, let's come back to here. Yeah, so these are the conferences going on. Let's see what we got going on here. I actually haven't seen this video yet.
Is a multi-chain blockchain conference held in Denver, Colorado at the beautiful Gaylord Rockies Resort and Convention.
Nice. Okay, cool, yeah. So you guys should definitely come out. Look at this view. It's just an awesome, yeah, it was just such a good time. Whoever's in the area should definitely try and come out. And if not, I'll see you at one of these other ones. All right, so getting back to the other stuff that we were talking about. Let's see, we talked about the staking stuff. We talked about World Mobile. We talked about some of the Book.io stuff. Let me see if there's any other ones that I wanted to make sure that we talked about. Let me know any questions you guys have, by the way. Because usually what we do is we'll go over like any sort of content that's going on, and then any questions that people have, and that kind of just goes as long as people have questions. So if not, we can probably just keep this one to be a short one. But if I go back to here, yeah, I just wanted to say like the main reason why I wanted to do this live was just to say, you know, thanks. I mean, it's when I went to, was it here that said it? I was on one of these pages earlier, and it reminded me. I think it was on this one. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I was on one of these earlier, and it was like, hey. Oh no, it was on YouTube, right? Because it's not the pool, yeah. So it's the channel. So the pool started it in December of 2020. But the channel didn't start until February of 2021. So today is officially 2 years for Woodland Pools. And so I think it's probably a good moment to just stop my rant through what's going on in the Cardano ecosystem, to stop and say thank you all so much. Let me see if we can switch to full screen mode here. There we go. So I wanted to stop and say thank you all so much for all of the support over the past 2 years. It's been a very, very fun ride. I mean, we first started the stake pool as really an experiment. Just I thought, hey, you know what? I'm investing in ADA. I'm really excited about the technology. I'm really excited about what they're doing. But hey, maybe how hard can it be to run a stake pool? Let me like learn the technicals of doing that, and do that. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, there's all this stuff to learn in the ecosystem, and how do we both maybe share some of that knowledge and then get delegators to know about the pool? And so that's where a few months, 3 months after the pool got started, the Woodland Pools channel got started, and it's just been such a cool ride over the past 2 years. As a thing that I had no idea where it was going to go, and it's just been so much fun. I mean, just from talking with the different projects, for example, like how we were just talking with Vic a second ago, and the team over at Endmaker, Book.io, which I've been a huge fan of for a long time, and like I mentioned in last week's video, I'm super thrilled to have the chance that now I'm going to be joining them as a full stack engineer. And so, and just kind of like going through the Plutus Pioneers program and all these other things, and a lot of these things that I was kind of pushed myself even more into digging into as a byproduct of staying on top of things for the channel. And also too, like everyone that I've just like met in person at all different conferences that we've gone to, it's just been such an amazing ride. I just want to say thank you to all of you for all of your support over the past 2 years. This truly is, the Cardano community itself is amazing, and the community of people that are interacting all the time with Woodland Pools in the Telegram channel, in the comments, for those that you see at the conferences, it's just been so cool. And so anyway, huge thank you to all of you. It's been an absolute blast, and here's to many more years. I don't know what, here, I'll cheers you with, cheers with my Red Bull. If you have something at home, hold that up. But yeah, thanks guys, it's been really cool. So let's go back to our screen share. Yeah, if we look here, just a couple of stats. I mean, so kind of like little journey here on sort of what we've been through. We've got, here's where it started. Epic 237. This is in December, and then you can see here how you can actually see on this graph. This was when it was just me and a couple friends and friends and family delegating, and you can see very clearly when the channel launched. Here's where the channel launched, and then other people started joining, and then it's all sort of been, as I say, the rest is history. But from here is when all of you first started hearing about the Woodland Pools channel and the Aspen stake pool, and all of this time since roughly Epic 252, and we're now in 390, so 140 epics. 140 times 5 is like 5. What is that? Right? 900? That's not right. 140 times 5. That can't be right. 500. Yeah. No, 5 and then 40. 700. That's right. Okay, there we go. So like 700 days. So for the 700 days, so just short of 2 years, we've all kind of been on this journey together, and it's just been really, really cool. It's just been an absolute blast. Now, that being said, sometimes the luck is better than others. We see these past several epics here. We got 9, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. That was really cool. And then, you get the ones where you only get 1 block, 2 blocks. But hey, that's the nature of small pools, and we truly appreciate everybody's support as we're going through this whole thing. Here's let's go to pool.pm. Yeah, this is just so cool. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing about it is, like, we're looking at like all these different people, like, it's just been so cool, like in the Telegram group and in comments and like in person and stuff like that, seeing how there's been so many different people that come in, and we all start at roughly the same place. We're excited, but we're not sure how to get involved or how to safely delegate or how to do whatever else. And you ask the questions where you feel kind of dumb, where you're like, well, hold on, like I'll never forget, like when I first got my first Ledger hardware wallet. And this kind of shows why I started the channel. When I first got my first Ledger hardware wallet, and I'll never forget when I was sending my funds from the exchange to my Ledger, and I thought, well, what happens if I unplug my Ledger, or if my computer dies, or my fund's going to be like lost because they didn't finish making the transfer to the device? And now this is the kind of stuff that we talk about all the time, right? Where we have videos about this, about clarifying how, like, no, it doesn't matter, because the funds don't live on your ledger. They live on the distributed blockchain, which is the whole point of a blockchain. And that the only thing that your ledger is holding is your actual private keys to make signatures and verify that it's you. But it's those kinds of moments of anxiety and those kinds of moments of like not really knowing how is this going to work, or does it work at all, or who can I ask? That's the reason why we started the channel. And it's just been so cool to see people that come in with these same kinds of questions that we've all been through, because we've all been there and we all go through that learning exercise. and then seeing other people like in a Telegram group and stuff like that, and even in comments, then like seeing the same people who had asked some of those questions, then as they come up to speed, then like them helping other people out, and sort of that compounding effect of just being kind to each other and like educating each other and helping everybody learn and level up. That's why I always say, like in our videos, you know, like let's keep growing together, because that's the whole point, is that no matter where you are, and this is a good moment to say, no matter where you are in your sort of journey about learning about cryptocurrency or Cardano or wherever else, at some point, everyone, no matter how much of an expert they are, all of them, at some point, or where you are right now. So it doesn't matter how little or how much you know, everybody who knows a ton about this stuff at some point was right where you are. And so the idea that as long as you're well-intentioned and you want to learn and you want to help other people too, that you can just come and ask any questions that you have, and that you can have sort of a safe space where you can ask those questions, get some help, and then later you can also help other people. That's the whole thing that we're all about. At the pool, at the channel, and it's just been so cool doing all of that with you. And then what I will say probably along those lines is then for those of you that are getting up and running now and are just getting started, we have on the channel, we have here a set of different playlists for basically all different kinds of stuff. So here's, well, let me do this because it'll actually show better. Let me do it this way. Let me do it. Let's do it here, because otherwise it'll show like ones that I played and stuff like that. Here we go. So let's go to playlists. So if you are just getting started, we have a whole set of different playlists. So you can go through here, some interviews and stuff. Here's projects building on Cardano. So if you're curious about like what are the projects that are building out, hardware wallets, if you're not sure which hardware wallet is the right one for you, or even how to get one set up, recovery phrase storage options like the Crypto Steel cassette. If you want something that's heavier duty than just storing your recovery phrase on a piece of paper. We have another one too about here, for example, 10 different videos on all the different Cardano wallet options. So here's the one about, oops, here we go. So here's all the different projects building our Cardano. We have this, all this. So we have Book.io, NMaker, World Mobile, Singularity Net. There we go. Cardano Scan, Votaire for on-chain voting, just all kinds of stuff, and really, really cool projects. And then here, we've got, for wallet options, you have Typhon, Eternal, Nami, Jero, Yoroi, Daedalus, Adalite. Adalite, the team with Vacuum Labs that did Adalite, they've recently come out with NuFi. I'll do a video on that soon. Lace Wallet, Jero Wallet, there's just so many different options. So, yeah. Anyway, so for all of those that are getting up and running and you have questions about how to do it, here's also too how to delegate from start to finish. Let me get this one. Let me share this out with you guys. There we go. Cool. Doing my live stream. Hey, thanks, man. It only took me a couple of attempts before I actually got that right. But cool, yeah. Anyway, so we'll probably just keep it short today. I just wanted to take a moment. It doesn't seem like there's any questions today. Usually people come in and have like a bunch of questions about stuff going on or whatever else, or different tokens. But mainly, I really just wanted to get everyone together, and also for those watching it on replay, and just stop and say a huge thank you to everybody for all of your support over the past couple of years. We'll go back to how we started here. Yeah, it's been an awesome ride. I don't know. It's just been really, really cool. We've got now, like I said, I think published over 150 videos. We're just short of 10,000 subscribers. We'll do like another live stream or something fun like this when we're at right at 10,000 subscribers. We did, I remember, it was a while. Let's see the live ones here. The Alonzo watch party. That was fun. We actually counted down into the era of smart contracts. It's just been such a cool ride being here every step of the way with all of you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Let's end this on a cheers. Thank you all so much for everything. We'll do another live stream here pretty soon. But yeah, just wanted to say thanks for everyone, your support on the way. It's been awesome. And yeah, here's to many more.